to give that speech in support of my wife. It was great to have our big, beautiful, blended family out there in force. And like I said, she's always been there for our family, and she's going to be there for your families. But with all this excitement, all this celebration, we haven't won anything yet.
We will.
So we got to turn all of this enthusiasm and the money we've raised and the hundreds of thousands of volunteers that are out there each and every day, knocking on doors, getting their friends and neighbors involved, doing what you're all out here doing today. It's our democracy in action. It works. And our democracy is worth saving, and that's why we got to elect Kamala and Tim. So Kamala is pro-worker, she's pro-business, and she's pro-family. Donald Trump is pro-himself. So this is a binary choice. This is an election on who better understands what you go through, what your family goes through. I think about people like my brother, who was a firefighter. He just retired, a proud member of IAFF. I just asked him if it was okay if I talked about him, and he sent me his alumni union card. That's my brother. That's who she's fighting for. Did Donald Trump make anyone's life better when he was president? Do you think he cares about you anymore this time around? Of course not. No. When you boil it down, I'm just absorbing everything I'm hearing each and every day, all the nonsense we have to absorb from the mouths of Donald Trump and his little sidekick, J.D. Vance. So you can almost boil the platform down into two words: authoritarianism and misogyny. That is their platform. That's all they got. And now you have Kamala and Tim, who have a platform of an opportunity economy and solving problems the way that Tim said. See a problem, solve a problem. It's not ideological, it's just getting the work done for the American people. That's what you're gonna have with Kamala and Tim. They're also not gonna take your rights away, just like every other word out of Trump and Vance is taking something away, moving us backwards, taking rights away, making it harder to vote, banning books, making it impossible to get reproductive care, even in the event of rape or incest. That's all in there. It's all in Project 2025. And that's what we're dealing with there. It's binary election. I get to see her, not so much now, but I get to see the leader, who she is and what you're now seeing, but in the most version of herself. Just when we needed somebody to step into the breach, when the country, the world needed somebody, she was right there. And she stepped up. She's doing it for us. She's doing it for my family. She's doing it for your family. This is the Kamala Harris I've always known, but it's the most badass version of Kamala Harris. And like I said, she's doing this because she solves problems. She sees a problem, solves a problem, and she finds practical solutions to some of the hardest problems that are out there. But it's for us. Like she said, like I've said, the only client she's ever had is the people. She's doing it for the people. Now, Kamala on the economy. She is pro-business, pro-growth, pro-innovation, and pro-worker. It's all connected. She stood on a picket line way back in 2019 with United Auto Workers. She did that. She chaired the White House Task Force on Organizing and is proud that this administration, the Biden-Harris administration, is the most pro-union and most pro-worker of any administration in history. And I've seen it because the second gentleman, I've traveled all around the country, and you could see the investments that this administration has made in clean water, clean air, infrastructure, and her plan to build 3 million new houses. We need those houses. And all of this creates jobs. All this great stuff that we're doing to make our lives better also is good for the economy and creates good, high-paying jobs. Kamala has always been driven by fairness, a fairness for everyone. And fairness looks like equal access to capital for everyone, including minority-owned businesses. Fairness looks like project labor agreements being required on the biggest federal construction project. And fairness looks like saving the pensions of millions of union workers. And fairness looks like 1 million new apprenticeships. Biden-Harris administration delivered all that, and that's going to continue in a Harris-Walz administration. Because she knows what's good for families, it's good for the economy. You know, it's interesting. This has been an intense 4 or 5 weeks, needless to say. And the president sent me to Paris to represent our nation at the closing ceremony of the Olympics. And of course, at the Olympics, you hear the USA, USA chants. And I got right back from Paris, I went to the convention in Chicago, and what did I hear there?
USA! 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 USA!
And you can keep going, it's great. But why did we hear that? Why did we hear that at a Democratic convention where you don't normally hear that? It's because of Kamala Harris has united our party. She has united our country. She loves our country just like we love our country. We are patriots, and that is why you were hearing those chants there. And by the way, this is not a honeymoon. This is not just a good start. This is a movement. This is a movement. But as she said during her amazing speech, and I'm biased, but it was pretty awesome. She said, this is not only the election of our lifetimes, this is the election of our nation's lifetime. So what does that mean? We can't get distracted. All that stuff they're throwing at us, the personal attacks, the nonsense, do not let it distract us, because I know she will not let it distract her. I cannot say anything around the house about anything other than, what are you doing to win this election? She's not letting any of this, affect her other than 2 words: focus and discipline. Focus and discipline. That's all we're talking about when we're having our coffee. Briefly, it's like, get back out there and let's win this election for all of us. All right, so like I said earlier, we haven't won anything yet, but we can do this. We can do this, but we got to run like we're 10 points behind. So on November 6th, we'll be 10 points ahead. That's the way to do it. And as Michelle Obama also said, apart from do something, which was great, she also said we need to vote numbers that erase any doubt and overwhelm any effort to suppress us. Because you know what? That's what they're going to do. That's what they're going to do. You already know they're going to do it. They're being open about it. So we got to win, and we got to win big. So how do we do that? First, you got to register to vote. Everyone's got to register to vote. So make sure in all of your networks and everyone you know, especially young people out there, if you're just, young people, you got to register. And even if you're away at college, make sure you're registering in the right place. Because again, when you can, you're going to vote. But register to vote. That's the main thing. Get everyone registered. And then early voting starts here pretty soon. They know, but it's in the, so make sure you know what those rules are, and I think we're looking good here, but we got work to do. But guess what? The map is wide open. So if you want to travel, well, let's see. North Carolina is pretty close, and lots of other states. Because as traveling around the country the last 4 or 5 weeks, going to a lot of these offices, it's so much fun to go to a Harris-Walz office. They're opening all over the country. Friends and neighbors, lots of coffee, lots of food, do some calls, send some postcards, knock on some doors. That's how we're going to win this thing. By getting everyone to register, by getting out there in each and every one of these states with focus and discipline and a lot of hustle. And we got a football coach on our side, so he's going to keep pushing us. And I told the coach, I'm going to crawl through shards of glass. I'm going to knock through walls and knock through doors until November 6th, when we can say President Harris and Vice President Long. Let's do it.